The tyranny is spreading. The global elites of the World Economic Forum are now making moves to control the genetic material of every child who is born into the world in future generations. According to the WEF, humanity will be better equipped to deal with the challenges of the future if unborn children undergo gene editing to ensure they are free of diseases and disabilities, including psychological traits which the elites disapprove of. The WEF is laying the groundwork to take over every aspect of our lives. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content, and to interact with our awesome community. The link is below this video. Not content with editing the genes of everybody who signed up for an experimental mRNA jab, the global elite are now threatening to edit the genes of our children before they're even born. To perpetrate this crime against humanity, the WEF have been developing artificial wombs, which will be able to develop a fetus outside of a mother's body. It would have been more appropriate if the scientists experimented on bringing a horned goat to life. Growing human babies from scratch in a lab could be possible in just 5 years thanks to a new breakthrough. Now WEF-funded researchers in Japan are on the cusp of being able to create human eggs and sperm in a lab from scratch, without the need for human sexual reproduction. These lab-grown human eggs and sperm will then develop in an artificial womb. Professor Hayashi, a Japanese scientist at the Kyushu University who has already figured out the process in mice, believes they are just 5 years away from replicating the results in humans and allowing the elite to implement their long-held dreams of playing God with the human race. But there are ethical concerns, as it means women of any age, including prepubescent girls, could give birth. Babies may also be designed to have certain traits using gene editing tools, giving way to the notion of an assumed perfect child. And given who's funding this project, it's worth asking, what do the global elite think the perfect gene-edited human specimen of the future looks like? We've got an answer for you from the horse's mouth on the other side of this quick break, and it's really disturbing. But first, an important word from our sponsor. I know I should eat healthier, but I don't. Doctors say that we should eat 6 cups of fruit and vegetables a day, but let's be realistic. Who's got the time to eat 6 cups of fruit and veggies every single day? I certainly don't. But according to a massive study, people who eat healthy live longer, have less heart disease and diabetes, and have less cancer. So I've started taking Field of Greens, and I'll tell you why. Unlike other fruit and vegetable supplements, each specific fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was medically selected to support specific functions, such as heart health, liver and kidney health, immune system and metabolism. And I take Field of Greens every day to stay healthy and feel good, and it really works. Field of Greens works really fast, and if you're like me, you'll feel healthier, have more energy, and your skin and hair will look healthier too. It can even help you lose weight. But the biggest benefit is the better health promise. Take Field of Greens, and at your next doctor visit, if they don't say something like, "Whatever you're doing, it's working, please keep it up," return it for a full refund. And to help you get started, I've got you 15% off your first order. Plus get another 10% off if you subscribe for recurring orders. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code TPV. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code TPV. In case you're still wondering what is driving the elite's agenda, Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, Yuval Noah Harari, who is known as the prophet among the Davos crowd, has doubled down on the elite's plans to play God. In his deeply disturbing manifesto, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, Harari drops strong hints about the traits the elites are planning to gene edit into future generations of compliant, docile human beings by building a genetic child catalogue. We apologise for the unpleasant robotic voice reading Harari's text, but it kind of fits his soulless godless vision for humanity.
Wouldn't you want to save her from years of misery by a quick and painless intervention in the test tube? And while you are at it, why not give the child a little push? Life is hard and challenging even for healthy people. So it would surely come in handy if the little girl had a stronger than normal immune system, an above-average memory or a particularly sunny disposition. And even if you don't want that for your child, what if the neighbors are doing it for theirs? Would you have your child lag behind? And if the government forbids all citizens from engineering their babies, what if the North Koreans are doing it in producing amazing geniuses, artists, and athletes that far outperform ours? And like that, in baby steps, we are on our way to a genetic child catalog.
Harari couldn't resist reminding us that only a select few of the Earth's current billions of inhabitants will be lucky enough to survive the great depopulation.
Most people will probably play only a minor role, if any, in these projects. Even if famine, plague and war become less prevalent, billions of humans in developing countries and seedy neighborhoods will continue to deal with poverty, illness, and violence even as the elites are already reaching for eternal youth and godlike powers.
They want us under a totalitarian control system, and they want us genetically incapable of resistance. To achieve this, Harari and his cronies are resurrecting eugenics with a modern twist.
When we successfully connect brains and computers, will we use this technology only to cure schizophrenia? If anybody really believes this, then they may know a great deal about brains and computers, but far less about the human psyche and human society. Once you achieve a momentous breakthrough, you cannot restrict its use to healing and completely forbid using it for upgrading. Of course, humans can and do limit their use of new technologies. Thus the eugenics movement fell from favor after the Second World War, and though trade in human organs is now both possible and potentially very lucrative, it has so far remained a peripheral activity.
Harari has been excitedly declaring that God is dead, and the WEF are assuming divine powers of creation and destruction, and the mainstream media has almost completely ignored their evil agenda.
Developing even bigger powers than ever before, we are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
While the media has provided cover for these techno-communist psychopaths, the elite have been allowed to work towards the eradication of our sovereignty at national and individual levels. This is serfdom 2.0. They've admitted that their intention is to deprive us of everything, consume insects as food, reside in confined spaces, and be desensitized by virtual reality devices and pharmaceutical drugs. In this future, the global state will own everything. They will even own us. The implementation of this plan is already underway.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. The facility features 75 highly equipped labs. Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs. Every pod is designed to replicate the exact conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus. A single building can incubate up to 30,000 lab-grown babies per year. Ectolife allows your baby to develop in an infection-free environment. Thanks to a system controlled by artificial intelligence, each baby receives custom nutrients tailored to their needs. Prior to placing the fertilized embryo of your baby inside the growth pod, in vitro fertilization is used to create and select the most viable and genetically superior embryo, giving your baby a chance to develop without any biological hurdles. And if you want your baby to stand out and have a brighter future, our Elite package offers you the opportunity to genetically engineer the embryo before implanting it into the artificial womb.
This is a globalist totalitarian dictatorship, and we must spread the word about their plans so we can defeat them. Klaus Schwab has told us that China is the role model for the future of the world. Is this the world you want your children and your children's children to grow up in? At this hour, it's not hyperbole to say that most of our basic freedoms and the freedom of future generations depend on how we respond to the threat of this globalist coup. These shadowy elites have been working quietly behind the scenes for decades, but in recent years we've exposed them to the light, and we are slowly but surely winning the fight. More and more people are waking up to their agenda. Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to continue doing our part to expose their crimes, but we can't do it without you. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to support the channel and join our awesome community, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. The link is below this video. I hope to see you there.